welcome back to my channel. It is your girl, Dutchy! And in today's video, I thought I would review the highly requested topic of how to know if someone likes you like that. In particular, how to know if a friend likes you like that. I get questions and comments and DMs on the daily asking, hey Dutchy, I want to know if my friend likes me. What are some hints and tips or things that they could be doing to show that they like me? Am I oblivious to it? Etc, etc. I posted a video very similar to this about 6 or 8 months ago. It did super well and you guys really enjoyed it. So I'm going to be highlighting some of the things I said in that one and adding some more helpful tips that I've picked up in the last 6 months that I think are super important and vital to knowing whether someone likes you like that. So sit back and buckle up, kids, and let me figure out whether or not your crush likes you like that. Let's get it. Just quickly, if you are new here, hi, my name is Dutchy. I create loads of queer content for you guys and I would absolutely love for you to become part of the family too. So if you do enjoy this content, then please don't hesitate to click that red subscribe button. Congrats, you just became part of the coolest fam on the internet. I'm just gonna start this video super honest and not sugarcoat the fact that it is difficult when you are a girl who is attracted to girls. Now the tips in this video are going to be useful universally. So whether you're a girl and you're crushing on a guy crushing on a girl, a lesbian, pan, any of the sexualities, this is going to help you. This is just from a personal point. I'm bisexual and I have found it so much easier to know when a guy is interested in me than when a girl is. Guys and girls have a very different flirting style. Girls are a lot more friendly and complimentary and all those sorts of things to random girls and also their friends, whereas when a guy compliments you, or whether they're your friend or not, it's kind of like a bigger deal, I guess. It's not something that guys do as frequently. And like the genuine question that always pops into my head is she flirting with me or is she just being nice? And you get that occasionally with guys, but most of the time it's pretty clear. With loads of different mixed signals, personality types, all those sorts of things, it can be super difficult to figure out whether a friend is crushing on you or whether they just see you as just that, a friend. And unfortunately, and I'm sure this has happened to many of you before, these lines often cross, even without any sexual or romantic attraction present. And heck, I'll be honest with you, I will be the first to admit I have definitely flirted with girlfriends and guy friends in the past and meant nothing by it and had no intent to take that any further, hadn't been crushing on them. That's something that friends do as well, which makes those lines cross. And if you're into a friend and you want them to like you, you're probably going to read into that more than what it may be. And it may well be more, or it may not, which is exactly why I have come up with 18 ways to try and figure out whether they are crushing on you or whether they just like you as a friend. So if you want to know if this person likes you more than a friend, definitely keep on watching. So as I mentioned, I'm going to try my best to debunk some of the things that your mate or someone that you're crushing on might be doing if they are into you like that. But please, as always, take this information with a grain of salt. Everything I say in this video is completely subjective, and just because this person in your life does all of the things or some of the things that I mentioned doesn't guarantee that they are crushing on you too. Just from personal experience, just from things I've read. Okay, so Dutchy, how do you know if he, she, they, them likes you as more than a friend? Well, Dutchy, you've come to the right place. Here are 18 things that your crush may or may not do if they like you like that. My first and probably most important tip, they don't hesitate to say yes when presented with an opportunity to hang out with you. So whether you've been talking to someone for a while or you know each other well and your mate, or you've been talking to someone on Tinder or Grindr for a while and you pluck up the courage to ask them to hang out, whether you announce it as a date or not, make it known that it's sort of just going to be the two of you. If they say yes and they don't hesitate and they start planning, even if they're like, yeah, I'm free here, we can hang here and do this, great sign. If they say yes, want to talk to you and get to know you outside of this text conversation, Tinder, chat, whatever it is, that's a great sign that they're interested in getting to know you on a deeper level. Whereas if they reply with a bit of a vague response or delay it or say, yeah, that'd be cool, and then never bring it up again or change the subject, they may not be as interested as once thought. Tip number 2, they might say that they want more from you. They want to spend more time with you. Say you've hung out once, like you think you're hanging out as friends and you went out and did something, and then they like text you after that and they're like, hey, like we should do that again sometime. They show that they want to spend more one-on-one time with you or just do more things with you. Say you're in the same friendship group and you've all organized to go out and do something, go to the movies together or go to the pool or the park or just do something fun together as a group. beach sesh, beach hang, and they want to link up first. So they want to have alone time with you either before or after, or say something like, yeah, after the beach we should go and see a movie together, or you should come back to mine for a bit afterwards. Now fam, that shows that they want that one-on-one time with you. Number 3, they hint at you to make a move, but a lot of the time this can be super duper subtle. And I've definitely used this move around girls and guys that I've sort of been a bit keen on. If you have like a super jokey sort of relationship or friendship with this person, chucking things into conversation like the following when you can without it being awkward or without making it look too obvious. Like if you're flirting with them and you have a flirty sort of relationship, saying something like, oh my god, imagine if we dated, and make it super jokey, not like, oh my god, imagine if we dated. Like that's more serious. But if you are flirting or if you're on sort of a jokey level and then you say something like, oh my god, imagine if we dated, oh we're hanging out so much, it's almost like we're boyfriend and girlfriend, that sort of thing, it not only allows you to gauge their response or gives them an opportunity to even say, why don't we date, like if they are keen on you and you're keen on them, that sort of thing. So it not only does that, but if they don't reply in that way or if they joke back or flirt back, you know that it's not so much a touchy subject, not something that you might not be able to approach again. But if they're sort of like or go really awkward, which could also mean that they like you, so it's hard, you have to sort of gauge what sort of awkwardness it is, which can get complicated. But I guess most of the time you're gonna get one of two responses. You're gonna get the positive flirt back that will either be like, oh my god, I know, without any sort of denial, without any sort of haha, no way, or you could get the haha, I know, but we're too close, or something like that. And then you could get a range of things in the middle that I suppose you would just have to try and dig deeper later on. Another good one is if you're outside or you're somewhere and you're cold, even acting cold if you're not as cold as you really are, and like seeing if they do give you their jacket or their jumper. Like it's a big sign of chivalry, and obviously a good friend should probably do that. I know most of my guy friends would probably do that, but if this is someone that you're not super duper close with but know, or a crush that you're on a date with, it's a good sort of way to figure out whether they are interested and care about. Number 4, they don't introduce you as a friend, and by this I don't mean they're introducing you as your boyfriend or girlfriend, because you're probably not boyfriend and girlfriend at this stage, but they refer to you as your name. So they'll say, if they're introducing you to family or other friends that you're not friends with, hey, this is Megan, or everyone meet Megan. It's not like, hey, this is my friend, hey, this is my friend Megan. It might even be, this is my close friend, or I've known this girl for ages, or something more sentimental and nice, something that shows that you're close rather than just, this is my friend. It's also super important to be aware of how they describe you and the things that they say to describe you to other people. If someone cares about you and is possibly like into you more than a friend would be, they're going to try their absolute best to make you look good in front of the people that they surround themselves with. They'll have a lot of positive and warm things to say about you, and they'll never try to throw you under the bus or embarrass you or do anything like that. If they like you and they're interested in you, they're going to want the people around them to feel the same way, and they want to reflect how you make them feel to them, if you know what I mean. So remember that, take notes. Number 5, and this one I have experienced so frequently, only with people that have been interested in me. If this person somehow finds a way to like casually or playfully touch you, and I don't mean that in a sexual way at all, calm down people. It might sound more cheeky than it is. I promise you it's not. Believe it or not, there is psychology behind it. When someone cares for you, they're going to want to get closer to you, both physically and emotionally, and they're definitely going to try and minimize the space between the two of you. So when someone likes you, they will 100% seek out any possible opportunities to have that physical contact with you, even if for only a short amount of time. If you're sitting next to each other somewhere, on a bed, at the beach, at the park, anywhere where you are seated but not quite like touching, they may try and inch closer and closer to you without you noticing. Like they might try and make it more of a subtle thing, but like every time you move a certain way, or like they might laugh with you, look at you and like try and move closer, that sort of thing. They might do things like put their arm around you when they're joking, or if you're having a giggle or a laugh, or like flirting about something, they might like reach over and be like haha, and like on your leg, like give you a quick little hit, you know, that sort of thing. I guess this next one is more if you are closer, or if you've gone on a few dates with someone. If they grab your hand without any hesitation, and when you're out in public, if you're at the beach or a shopping center or something, they just grab your hand and walk with it or skip with you for a quick minute or something like that. If they're not afraid to show you that physical affection when you're out and about, that's a mood, that's a great indication that they may like you as more than a friend. But definitely do keep in mind that these indications aren't always foolproof. I know I act this way around some of my best mates, but then at the same time, when you are best mates with someone, a lot of the time you know that it would never be more than that. Another important thing to note on that topic is if this particular friend doesn't act like that around other friends but does act like that with you, big mood. But if they are a physical person and you have seen them act this way with others, don't stress. It doesn't mean that that doesn't mean more to them with you, but it could also mean that they're just like friendly and physical and enjoy that physical affection with anyone or any of their friends, because at the end of the day, we're human, we crave physical affection. Number 6, eye contact. Big E, big E. The thing here is I try and maintain eye contact with everyone I communicate with. I think it's just a polite thing to do. But if I'm super nervous around someone, or I'm meeting them for the first time, or I do really like someone, I find it super difficult to keep that eye contact. I think it's super, not always intimate, but I suppose it is when you're seeing someone new. My eyes, if I'm like crushing on someone, I'll get nervous around the whole eye contact thing, and I'll try my best, because it obviously is a nice, polite thing to do when you are communicating with someone, especially someone new. I find myself like my eyes will dart around, so I'll look at them for a bit and then I'll just get too nervous and just like so again, a bit difficult if this is a friend that you've known for a while. You're probably comfortable enough with each other to look into each other's eyes, but it can go two ways. So it can go the way that I just described, or obviously if you are friends and you do maintain that eye contact, maybe when you speak your eyes are meeting for just that second longer, and you could sort of feel that you didn't need to look at each other for that long. Obviously the way you look at someone is different to how a friend would look at a friend, that sort of thing. Super duper important to keep an eye out for. Good one, Dutchy. Yeah. Number 7, they are constantly inviting you out to things. This doesn't always have to be one-on-one. If there's like a group thing going on, say you're from like 2 slightly different groups, and then sometimes you come together, maybe their side of the friend group is doing something and they're like, yeah, come along, we're doing this. They're always wanting you to come to things, hang out, go to events, go to gigs, always want you there, but not always necessarily labeled as a date, but they always want to hang out with you. They always want to invite you to things. Number 8, they want to know about your past relationships. They want to know how long it lasted, why it ended, that sort of thing. This sort of technique enables them to see whether they can envision a future with you or not. I don't make this a priority when I'm getting to know someone new, or if I'm crushing on someone. Obviously, if you're good friends, depending on how good friends you are, you might know a lot more about this topic and not have to question it. But if you're crushing on someone that is a friend but you don't know so well, I've never made it a priority, but I have always had a conversation about exes. I would avoid it on the first date if you are going on dates, but once you start getting more comfortable with someone, you can definitely ask about it, or I'm sure most of the time it does come up in conversation. So yeah, you can be, they might be interested in your past and question that, and like how long your your longest sort of relationship, that sort of thing. But obviously it's also important to remember that every relationship's different, every relationship with every different person is different, that sort of thing. But it might be a good sign if they are questioning you about that. Oh, hey, why did you break up? Or like, how long did you date for? That sort of thing. Could be a positive sign. Number 9, they ask you about your future. Do they ask you about where you want to end up, where you see yourself in 6 years, where you want to live, marriage, children? What's on the cards for you? Like, they want to know where your future may be headed and whether or not that would align with where they're headed. I guess it just sort of shows a deeper interest in where you're going and whether or not they can be a part of that, which rolls nicely into number 10. They get defensive when you either mention that you're going to see someone else, or something is brought up that someone else is crushing on you or something like that. Jealousy is honestly one of the most undeniable signs that someone is keen on you or interested in some way. If they get annoyed by you talking about someone else or seeing someone else, probably because they wish it was them. Numero 11, they remember dates that have meaning to you. Whether it's your birthday, graduation, family members' birthdays even, depending on how close they are, pets' birthdays, any dates that have meaning to you. Maybe your favorite band has a new single coming out. Number 12, body language. huge, huge. Did I say huge? Things I've noticed is when a girl is into someone, and obviously guys can do this too, it's just not every girl, but I've noticed a lot of girls do this. When trying to impress someone or when they're into someone, I have seen a lot of girls like sort of play with their hair, flick their hair, hat, beanie, adjust what they're wearing, adjust their clothes, trying to make themselves look as attractive to you as they can when in your presence. Some girls might even smile more than usual, their voice might deepen or get higher if they're feeling a bit nervous, that sort of thing. I know my voice definitely deepens when I'm nervous, so. And then some girls might get higher. Something I've noticed with guys is they try and take up like as much space in a room or wherever they are that they can. And that's their way of drawing attention to themselves. In terms of, so that's what people do like to themselves when they're around someone that they want to seem as attractive to them as they can. If say like you've got a collar on and maybe it's like a little bit tucked in, they might, if someone likes you, they might actually reach and try, again, closing that physical proximity gap. They might fix your collar, they might fix your hair, tuck your hair behind your ear, fix your hat, or like playfully go like that or something along those lines. I suppose even things like just picking up your bag, carrying your bag for you, doing something for you that's showing that they are going to show you that they care, and make it like an obvious thing that they're doing with their body. Number 13, they flirt with you. And it's not always going to be that straightforward or obvious. Everyone has a different way of flirting, very, very subjective. But if they're into you, chances are they're going to act differently around you. They're going to be more playful, more jokey, more nudgy, more physical. They might get nervous around you, talk differently around you. And flirting is a great way to test the waters too. If someone's flirting with you constantly and you're picking up on it and you're both vibing, it's going to be pretty obvious. But you can also test the waters if they're not a super duper flirty person, or you can tell that they're a little bit nervous around you for one reason or another. You can test the waters too and gauge their attraction by flirting with them. It doesn't always have to come from them. You don't always have to be the one identifying it, but try it. 14, they always keep the conversation going. There's never a lapse in that. So whether you're texting and they won't let it get to a good night stage just so that they can text you again the next day. It's long messages. No one likes a dry texter if they're constantly making conversation. And I mean this in person as well. But like, yeah, in person, over text, over message, whatever you talk on, the conversation's always good. There's always something good to talk about. They ask you questions as well as answer questions. They're not always just talking about themselves. They're interested in you. They want to keep that conversation going. They want to know everything about you. Yeah, good sign. 15, oh, probably one of the most wholesome tips here, if they talk about you to their friends and family. So you find out in one way or another them and they're like, hey, this is Megan, the girl I was talking about. Or if they say that to your parents, or if you meet someone, you're introduced to someone and they're like, oh, we've heard so much about you. Anything that indicates that they have been speaking about you when you haven't been there, and obviously in a positive way. You have made an impact on them enough to speak to the people close to them. You've made an impact on them. This is something that happened a lot in high school along those lines. Like you'd be crushing on someone and then maybe one of their mates would come up to you and be like, hey, like, what do you think of Joe? Like, and you know that they've got their friend to test the waters for you. And it's kind of cute and a little bit like funny because they're a bit too shy or scared to do it themselves. And I guess that changes a lot when you get out of high school and you're in like the dating game, or the big world, I should say. But yeah, like testing that, or having people like, maybe because some of you guys would be in high school, maybe a friend of theirs has come up to you and like has questioned how you feel about this person. And a lot of the time you could be oblivious to that and be like, yeah, I like Joe. We're like good mates, and not think anything more of it. But the next time someone does that, take note, because it probably means they are into you. Number 16, they hint at you or let you know that you're single, sick of being single, all of those sorts of things. Or wanting a relationship, saying, oh, I just want to be in a relationship. If they bring that up a lot around you, not just like the once off, that can obviously happen around between friends. And it is a common thing that I suppose girls talk about, guys talk about, you know, wanting a relationship, the whole imagine if we dated, oh my god, sort of thing that I mentioned previously. Act accordingly when this happens. Dig a little when this happens. If they are bringing that up a lot, they might be hinting at you that they might like you. Obviously, if it is just a once off, probably not. But if they do bring that up with you, yeah, dig. 17, if you show affection and they show affection back, honey. If you're both watching a movie between friends, and you go to rest your head on their chest, or you just go to do anything closer than what two friends would normally do, or what you and this particular friend would normally do. See what they do. If you put your head on their chest and they like start playing with your hair, if they do something physical back, it doesn't have to be full on like cuddling or anything, but if they show that physical affection back and reciprocate, it's great. If you do that and they sort of freeze up and don't do anything, probably not a good sign, or could be super duper nervous. But I guess even you can ask, if you don't want to like do it out of the blue, you can be like, is this okay? Or can we do this or something? Instead of just going ahead and doing it. If you are too scared that it might sort of freak them out, or if you're not 100% sure how they'll react, you can always ask. But yeah, but physical affection in other ways too. It doesn't always have to be that intimate. But yeah, just in other ways, hug them, or hug them for a bit longer and see if they let go, or if they act weird, or if they don't. But yeah, most of the time, if you show someone physical affection and they do it back, they're probably going to be into you. Especially if it's someone that you don't normally have that physical affection with. And for number 18, you guys probably already saw this coming. They tell you they like you, or they ask you if you like them, or you talk about it in the most non-subtle way and it gets brought up. And at the end of the day, the only way you can 100% know is if you ask. There's things people say and do that don't always correlate exactly with how they feel, and yes, I know that's nerve-wracking, which is why I provided 17 other ways and 17 other things that you guys can be on the lookout for. I don't expect all of you to be crushing on someone and be like, so, do you like me? Would you date me? That's hard, that's nerve-wracking. I don't think I've ever asked someone that without being sure that they liked me through another method, such as the 17 I listed. So you can always ask, life's too short, YOLO, all of that, I get it. I'm sure some of you are confident enough to do that, but it is also my most surefire way to figure out if your friend likes you like that. So you're welcome. Happy crushing, happy figuring out if your crush likes you or not. Please comment below some crush stories that you guys have. I would absolutely love to read about them and comment back. If you're still here, I love you so much. Thank you for watching the whole way through. You rock. The real MVP. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.